Welcome in. This is Gene Pemberton at halftime of the Temple Wildcat Midway game. And, boy, we got some special guests today on our halftime show, including our sponsor, John Allen Howell, Dr. John Allen Howell. And along with him, he was the fullback on the 59-60 team. And Randy Holstraw was one of our great running backs, he and Honeycutt. I guess, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And
he says he was.
And then the youngster of the bunch who coached him back then, Coach Marcine Cottle. Now, he coached these kids when they graduated in 60.
So that makes him old.
Yeah.
Now, 61, actually, for me, Holstraw's older than I am.
Okay. Well, that's why I kind of want to just get it going and then let you guys do the talking. Y'all were the ones that were there playing. I was at Hardin-Simmons those 2 years.
Yeah.
So I missed that great Brownwood game that everybody talks about. But just kind of take it, Randy, and y'all talk about it from here.
Well, Gene, it's a great pleasure to be here in the booth with Coach Cottle, our coach for 3 years, and not many guys can say that at our age that their coach is still with them. But we had a good ball club. We wasn't supposed to really have a ball club much. We graduated most of our seniors the year before, but we ended up 8-3. Played Corpus Christi Ray in by-district, and they went on to win state championship. And we did have a good fullback sitting next to me here, John Allen Howell. So, John, tell them about the Brownwood game.
Well, the Brownwood game was probably one of the best games I had. So the holes opened up, and I went through them. Once you get into that backfield with just one or two people chasing you, it's a little bit easier. You got a head of steam, and they got to catch up to you. So anyway, that was a memorable game for me because my father and their fullback's father went to medical school together. So that was pretty exciting. And we would have liked to have beat them. I think the score was they were 7 and we were 6. But that was a very exciting game.
Yeah.
And
they come in ranked number 7 in the state.
Well, they had a coach that had won I don't know how many games in a row.
They had a end by the name of Lawrence Elkins, who went on to be All-American at Baylor, and a great ball player. And we ran all over. We had over almost 400 yards rushing, but we had too many penalties, and they beat us on a 35-yard extra point. Boy by the name of Joe Loudermilk kicked the extra point and beat us 7-6. You remember that, Coach?
I'm not trying to remember it. I'm just listening because I don't like to hear those scores where you get beat.
I don't either. That's too negative.
Well, and with you guys, you know, it seems like you're talking about everybody graduated the year before. We had that was a great football team that didn't get out of the district because they just had one team to represent the district, and
that's right.
We got beat again, and I think that team would have Waco beat them 6-0. I don't even like to talk about that one either, man. That was a nightmare. That game, and then my mother got run over the next day, and hey, I had a hard time getting over that. I still do because I don't like that game because we had a team, and then the next year y'all took it to them, and they were supposed to be great again, but hey. Well, with you running and Honeycutt and John Allen running at fullback and some guy named Mike Jenkins at quarterback. He never did say anything during practice or during the game, but he was a great ball handler and he was smart. He was smart. Smarter than most people gave him credit for. Yeah. And he'd throw. Well, the passing, hey, we didn't throw too many passes, and all those were out in the flat, you know. They didn't have
pretty accurate at that.
That's it. Of course, I think Randy Holstraw had one completion, and that was to the other team.
But didn't you say you just lost 2 of those players since back then?
Two of them that we know have the deceased that was the center, Tommy Murray. Yeah. And the big tackle, Charles Crimpine. Yeah, he was he was twice as big as anybody on the team. You know, they just one of those big kids at that time. That's one, not 8 8 or 9 like they got now. They put out there, but he was big, and he
played in the pros, didn't he?
He had to play, sir.
He played in the pros a little bit, didn't he?
I don't think so.
Brother did.
I doubt if he didn't have that kind of talent.
No.
Oh, I think
he was a big kid, and he played in front of Holstraw, and I think he opened those big old holes for Holstraw to make 2 yards. You know, you'd always heard of that 2 yards in a cloud of dust. Well, this team won all of the district games.
And they had 12 points scored on us.
And they had a great defense.
I saw a Waco game when y'all upset them.
Yeah.
Well,
we had 87 points scored on us in 11 ball games.
There was a play there between Mike Jenkins and Allen Howell that we don't know what happened. We know what the scoreboard said, 7-0 in Temple. Of course, I don't know, man. It's so long whether I called a play or not. I'd call maybe a fullback keeper or a 29 Bailey or something, you know. But anyway, it didn't turn out. Whatever I called, it didn't work because they didn't try to run it. And the quarterback, and we have never talked to him. You can't get Mike Jenkins to talk about it. He doesn't come to the meeting. He doesn't come to Temple. We should get him out. We'd knock his head off one of these days. We'll find out what he did with that football. All we know is he ran 38 yards untouched for a touchdown, and everybody standing there watching him run. You know, hey, it was something else.
And we beat them Tigers 7-0.
Yeah, ended up. Well, in town they got that big building, there, and always when you leave, it had Waco up there.
Alico building.
And coming back, no, it's in Temple.
Oh, in Temple, okay.
Yeah. It's the bank building, you know.
Yeah, First National.
First National. They up at the top. The guy knew the guy that was in charge of putting up everything, and he put a sign up there that says, "Beat Waco," way up at the top, when you could see it from Waco just about. And on the way back, he had put, "We beat Waco." And I tell you, the cars lined up from Waco to Temple, and they honked horns and the batteries. I think half of them ran their batteries down. So I better let these two guys take over.
Hey, John, tell them about a little bit about playing number 1 team in the state and the by-district Corpus Christi Ray Texans. They was one of the greatest high school teams in their area. They had 8 boys that went Southwest Conference scholarships, and they had a great linebacker by the name of Mike Kelsey, and Mike died his sophomore year of a heat stroke at SMU, but he was one of the greatest linebackers that we ever played against. So tell a little bit about that game.
Well, we were kind of starstruck when they got off the bus. They had red shoes, and back then you had a black pair and a brown pair, and you had, you know, and that was about it. And when these guys got off with red shoes, it was kind of intimidating. But then we realized, as we were always told, that, you know, they put their pants on one leg at a time, and, you know, we were holding up pretty good against them. And in fact, we went into the halftime 7-6, so that's not bad. And
y'all had. Back then, your coaching staff wasn't with, what, 4 coaches?
3.
Coach Cottle, backfield and defensive backs, and
Fikes and Patterson.
Coach L.G. Wilson was the line coach,
not Patterson.
And Coach Jay Fikes was our head coach, and then B-team coach was Coach George Kirk. But Corpus Christi Ray scored on a block punt and a pass interception. They intercepted a pass and ran. So really, other than we had some turnovers that give them touchdowns, but we was the only team to lead them ever that year at halftime. We had them 7-6 on 99 left. Tommy Honeycutt caught a pass and it was about 60 or 70 yards, and we scored and had them 7-6 at halftime. So we did win the first half, but we didn't win the half that counted, did we, John?
No, we didn't.
But they went on to beat Wichita Falls for the state championship and beat them by exactly the same score that they beat us in the by-district. But they was a great team.
Well, they beat I think Lubbock, Monterey. It could have been Amarillo, Tascosa, but it was 40-0.
Yeah,
and it was on TV.
Yeah,
the very next game, which was a
great
quarterfinal game. They just had a good team.
They've been playing together since 7th grade, Gene. Them boys had.
But I will say one thing about the B team and Kirk. You played on the B team the same year I did. Kirk. We had a good B team. I don't think our B team lost.
No,
maybe the Holland. Remember when we went up and played the Holland Hornets? Yeah, our 10th grade boys played their high school, so I think they beat us 12-6, something like that.
Yeah.
But so that was kind of a, you talking about the team. Didn't think it was going to be that good, but it was a good B team. Yeah. We had a good B team that came in with that extra ones that were still hanging on.
We had 2 juniors that started on defense, and they was 2 of the greatest outside linebackers that I think ever played for Temple, and that was Stuart Lewis and Jim Turner.
Yeah,
they was 2 great outside linebackers, Coach.
You got that right. Hey, I remember
they were plenty good.
We had to sign those 2 cornerbacks to cover certain guys on passes,
Yeah.
And they'd have Brownwood. Hey. They tried it a couple of times. I think Turner intercepted one. I don't know who it was against, but I remember when the cornerback in those days intercepted a pass. That was, But like Randy said, those 2 cornerbacks were tremendous athletes. Not big, but boy, would they hit you.
They would hit.
Would they hit you?
I didn't play against them.
They loved to hit you. And if you had the football, you was in danger of getting hit.
There was 2 great.
That's what I like to say about this bunch here. I didn't ever say a whole lot at halftime because, the kids already knew what we wanted to do. If we hadn't coached them then, you can't coach them at halftime. So
that's right.
Before every game, I just said, the team that we're playing tonight expects to get hit. So just don't disappoint them. No, just don't disappoint them. That's all I ever had to say, And I don't think anybody ever out-hit us. I just don't believe that.
And we was the best conditioned team in the state of Texas.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Very good condition. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's just in the Wildcat tradition. We just had powerhouse teams every year then. And I know Don Baylor, who coached in the major leagues quite a bit, they beat us for our only loss that year he played.
Yeah.
And he scored that touchdown down on the goal line, beat us 7-0. So, Wildcats never got much scored on them, period.
That's right. Had great defenses.
Well, I can show you the stats of the 1939 game between Temple and Ennis. Ennis had total yards, 2. Penalties, they had none, and Temple had 1 for 5 yards. That's the stats now, way back down. So you can see what Gene is saying, that, hey, Temple played, and these 2 guys represented the Wildcats. I was proud of that team. When they went 5-0 in the district, they beat Bryan, and they started Slayton in there that day. But cool. that Honeycutt that came out with a big old toe and on crutches, and he thought he wasn't going to play, and he kicked the extra point. And I think he threw a touchdown or touch one of them get Bryan down there with these guys here. That Bryan couldn't handle them. They're too tough.
Well, that's this is a lot of the offense right here. The guy that coached them to it, and the fullback and one of the running backs. Honeycutt didn't come this morning. We might have had him down here too.
Yeah.
But
he had a lot of speed.
Yeah. But these kids love football. Randy ran around with Johnny Spavado and Jay Brooks, and I don't know what happened after that. But after y'all graduated from here. Not too many, as good a team as we had, not too many played college ball, did they?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we just got a few seconds left, but if you want to wind it up some way, or appreciate y'all coming down, it's been a lot of fun.
Go beat Round Rock. Midway.
Midway? Okay, Midway.
That's right. We moved this way back.
Hewitt Midway.
That's it. So
here comes the Wildcat.
It's a joy to be here with Coach Cottle, and we're thrilled about that.
And Gene Pemberton.
That's great.
And appreciate John Allen sponsoring halftime. Or else I quit broadcasting. I wasn't going to do it no more, but I did it because he He's sponsoring at halftime.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, we've had a lot of fun. Our 15 minutes is over, and we thank you for listening.